Hello and welcome to News Now. I'm your host, Taylor Inman. We're going over the week's biggest headlines for Northwest Montana. Kalispell City Council on Monday appeared in favor of applying for a $25 million federal grant to fund the long-planned transformation of Main Street. Councilors at the April 28th work session expressed both excitement and trepidation over implementing the Main Street Safety Action Plan, which was adopted by the body in August and identified high-risk, high-crash intersections and streets in downtown Kalispell. Out of 10 road studies, Council prioritized Main Street, 1st Avenue East, and 1st Avenue West for upgrades with an estimated cost of $27 million. Changes include reducing Main Street to 3 lanes of traffic, widening sidewalks, and installing pedestrian safety measures. Probably the most notable aspect of the plan is the slimming down of Main Street to 1 lane of traffic headed in either direction, north or south, along with a dedicated left turn lane. Also called a road diet, the technique is intended to improve pedestrian safety and reduce crashes, according to the Federal Highway Administration. City planners said there are anticipated increases in travel time, but not by much, and not until years into the future. Development Services Director Jarrett Nygren said that traffic is projected to be delayed an extra minute and a half by 2045. He said that Kalispell has undergone several road diets in the past 30 years. 1st Avenue East and 1st Avenue West once boasted 4 lanes of travel before being shaved down to 3. Rachel Grosso with Kittleson & Associates Incorporated, the firm hired to create the plan, said changes won't mean a standstill gridlock and that traffic would look like a moving queue from one intersection to the next. Main Street currently sees around 18,000 cars a day, with that figure likely spiking in the summer. Pedestrian safety measures also would go in on Main Street, 1st Avenue East and 1st Avenue West, including flashing beacons, curb extensions, and high-visibility crosswalks. The improvements aim to promote walkability and storefront activity. St. Matthew's Catholic School would get a 12-foot wide designated parking area along the school's frontage for pickups and drop-offs, as well as flashing crosswalks at nearby intersections. Roundabouts would also be built at the intersection of Main Street and 11th Street West and the intersection of Main Street with 13th Street East and Airport Road. Councilor Ryan Hunter said that the new road design may minimize the reckless driving connected with cruising in downtown Kalispell, while Councilors Chad Graham and Carrie Gabriel emphasized that the significant changes may be a hard pill for citizens to swallow. A study conducted by Kittleson & Associates, Inc. found that between 2018 and 2022, Main Street saw 258 motor vehicle crashes. 1st Avenue East saw 73 and 1st Avenue West saw 48. During that same time frame, there were 45 crashes involving cyclists and pedestrians downtown, 8 of which occurred on Main Street. Bob Vosen, District Administrator for the Montana Department of Transportation and a Kalispell resident, was in favor of the project but expressed concern over placing Main Street under construction before finishing the reconfiguration of the southern end of the US 93 bypass. But time is of the essence to secure funding. Applications for the Safe Streets for All implementation grant are due at the end of June, and the pot of money is not expected to come back. The Safe Streets for All implementation grant program historically doles out $25 million, requiring a 20% match. The discretionary grant program was established under the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, which was signed into law by former President Joe Biden and has since been under attack by President Donald Trump's administration. Council must first sign off on a resolution of intent to apply for the grant following a public hearing. Through the same federal program, the city was awarded a $2.4 million grant in November 2024 to improve Oregon Street, but the city is still waiting on a grant agreement with the Federal Highway Administration. Governor Greg Gianforte put Bobby's Law on the books Friday, increasing statewide penalties for drunk driving. The legislation was introduced by Representative Braxton Mitchell, a Republican from Columbia Falls, to address what proponents of Bobby's Law considered a loophole in the felony prosecution of drunk drivers involved in fatal collisions. The issue came to the forefront in 2023 after Columbia Falls resident Robert Bobby Dewbre was struck and killed by a drunk driver days after his 21st birthday. The driver was eventually charged with 2 misdemeanors for the incident and received a maximum sentence of 18 months. Flathead County Attorney Travis Ainer alluded to the requirement to prove negligence as a reason the county decided against pursuing felony charges. While the driver boasted a blood alcohol content of .20, he had reportedly followed all traffic laws leading up to the incident. Under Bobby's Law, any driver involved in a traffic fatality can be charged with a felony if their blood alcohol content is equal to or above .16, regardless of whether they otherwise acted negligently. Offenders face a state prison term of between 3 and 30 years, a fine of between $10,000 and $50,000, or both. Dewbre's mother, Beth McBride, was among the bill's staunchest supporters. She said the law signing felt surreal after months of legislative hearings and convoluted amendments. She has graded that the work paid off. She said, quote, "It means Bobby didn't die in vain. It means other families won't have to suffer injustice. We can't turn back the clock, but we can make it right for future families." End quote. After her son's death, McBride and her daughter, Carly Seymour, founded the grassroots advocacy group called Montana Bar Ferries. Volunteers with the group deposit coffee gift cards on cars left in bar parking lots overnight with the goal of encouraging safe transportation options after drinking. The group also played an instrumental role in the passage of Bobby's Law. Dozens of members attended the hearings in the Montana House and Senate to voice support for Bobby's Law, including the family and friends of several other Flathead County residents killed in drunk driving incidents. Data collected by the Montana Department of Transportation shows that about 42% of all roadway fatalities in Flathead County involve a drunk driver. As a whole, Montana has more drunk driving fatalities per capita than any other state, according to a 2025 report from Forbes. McBride knows these statistics well. She plans to continue working through Montana Bar Ferries to promote a safer drinking culture in communities throughout Montana. McBride said she regularly fields inquiries from people across the state interested in forming their own local chapter of Montana Bar Ferries. The organization recently started hosting educational booths at brewery festivals and other local events. Deer Park School is seeking an approval of a $4 million bond to construct a new building to address aging facilities and add space. The main level of the proposed building will be nearly 6,700 square feet, encompassing 4 classrooms, a boys' and girls' bathroom, lockers, a conference room, a janitor's room, and a storage space. A secure vestibule will lead to a waiting room and a new main office and administrative offices. The basement level will house a mechanical room, pump room, crawl space, and storage space. On Tuesday, Deer Park Principal Sherry Moderman, School Board Member Gary Anderson, and Booster Club member and parent of 3 Ashley Young provided a tour of needs and proposed plans, starting in the existing main office building which served as a teacherage in the late 1930s and early 40s. Once inside, it's close quarters, standing in and around the front desk. There's not much space for waiting students, and Moderman said it's not uncommon in the morning for the waiting line to trail outside. The principals, clerks, and lunch coordinators' offices are all located in the building. With a desire to preserve a piece of history, Anderson said the district plans to sell the old teacherage, possibly through a live auction, and see it relocated. The group noted that both buildings have infrastructure problems, namely plumbing and electrical, and lack storage space. Back outside, the group walked over to a Quonset hut, which opens directly into the music room where teacher Paul Bruce's kindergarten class was getting underway. Next door, Samantha Marcus was teaching art. Moderman said the hut will be removed along with the other buildings. The pre-owned Quonset hut was donated to Deer Park in the 1960s and initially served as a gym. It currently houses music and art classrooms, a Title I room, bathrooms, and the school's before and after school programs. Established in 1886, Deer Park is the oldest school operating in the Flathead Valley, according to the district. Other buildings on the school campus will not be touched in the bond project. Registered voters living in the school district should have received ballots in the mail. Ballots are due to the Flathead County Election Department, 290B North Main Street in Kalispell, by 8 p.m. on May 6th. Ballots may also be mailed or hand-delivered. People may also drop off ballots at Deer Park School, located at 2105 Middle Road in Columbia Falls. If the 25-year, $4 million bond issue is approved, the owner of a home with an assessed value of $200,000 can anticipate annual taxes to increase by about $162.25. Owners of homes with an assessed value of $300,000 can expect annual taxes to increase by $243.37. If approved, the district has 2 years to sell the bonds and 3 years to spend the proceeds, Anderson said, noting that the district currently has no debts. Timing may play a critical role, as it remains unclear how Trump administration tariffs will affect future construction costs. Deer Park voters will also elect a new school board trustee to a 3-year term. Candidates are incumbent Cynthia Barnes and Michaela Cords. In addition to the bond issue and trustee election, Deer Park voters will help decide the fate of Kalispell Public Schools' $2.97 million high school general fund levy. If the high school levy is approved, the owner of a home with an assessed value of $200,000 can anticipate annual taxes to increase at about $33.04. Owners of homes with an assessed value of $300,000 can expect annual taxes to increase by $49.56. In 2018, Deer Park voters rejected a $1.85 million bond issue that would have funded building a new art and music room, library media center, main office and entrance, and flexible learning room. The money would have also been used to renovate existing space and infrastructure. Thanks for joining us. News Now is a podcast from the Daily Interlake. We're proud to be the largest independent newsroom in Montana and the longest continuously published newspaper in the region. Today's stories were written by Daily Interlake reporters Haley Smalley, Jack Underhill, and Hillary Matheson. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel to never miss an episode of the pod. Everybody stay safe and have a great week. Thanks to our sponsor, Lauren's Auto Repair at 1309 U.S. Highway 2 in Kalispell. Most consistently rated 5-star shop serving the Kalispell area. Visit lawrensauto.com.